Hey everybody, I'm Red King from Send More Robots, and welcome back to Space Engineers. So, today is Thursday. It is a new update indeed for this game, and we're going to start off real simple today. With this new update, they actually did a texture update for the light armor and heavy armor. As you can see in the light armor, the grooves are a little bit deeper, everything seems more detailed. You can even see little scratches and stuff like that. That actually adds a really cool effect to the whole thing. For me, it's just a nice little update for skins. Kind of just makes everything look nicer. I mean, you can look at all this, and this looks pretty well updated. Now, if you look at the heavy armor, that's definitely a whole new feel. You can see all the little rivets, all the scratches, and everything like that. Definition in this sense is just more interesting, rather than being anything significant, but that's not the big thing for this update. And we're going to move on to actually that now. So as you can see, here's a normal gravity generator kind of set up right there. And I have a new one set up right next to it. And as you can see, it does say gravity generator, but it is spherical. So it actually creates a sphere shape in a gravity field rather than this one creates out a box shape. And I'm going to give you a brief example of what it looks like. We're going to head on over to this right here. As you can see, I have one set up right there. I'm going to turn it on, and then you can see how all this stuff reacts to it. So if you look in there, everything kind of flocks to it. Oh, and there goes my jetpack. And you can see how everything around it kind of moves and goes to the top of it. And we'll actually go into the debug menu, which is an F11, and we will look at physics primitives, and it actually will show you what you need to see, which is the actual bubble that this thing creates. It actually creates a perfect sphere around it, which actually allows it to function in a new method that the previous gravity generator functioned in, whereas it was straight a up and down kind of situation. Since this provides 360 degrees of the same kind of gravity value, it allows objects from every direction to come in and pretty much be used. So now we're going to see what it looks like once you turn it off. As you can see, everything's kind of just sitting nicely, just kind of hanging out. Normally it would either float off or kind of do something else. Actually, it's starting to lift off a little bit. Nothing too crazy. But we're going to turn it back on. You can see how the rocks kind of move around, jiggle. And this is actually a pretty good example of how the sphere works, where they're always trying to get to the top, trying to come on down pressure-wise, or at least gravitational pull is towards the center of the actual gravity, the gravity generator, rather than an object itself. So I actually had an idea about using this gravity generator as a kind of hydroponics chamber. So you have one that rotates, so like that's the light source right there, or the sun in this case. And this is a nice little rotational thing where it kind of gives the hydroponics all its setup. Once you get in here, there's another gravity generator. There's a spherical one. So I've actually set up this one to be a lot smaller than the previous one. So it only takes up, well, the previous one was actually pretty small. This one only takes up the space within this room. So I'm going to turn off my jetpack, and as you can see, even though I'm rotating, I'm going to go into third person. Oh, I can't go into third person. But as you can see, I am still in this little area. I haven't fallen out, I haven't moved or anything like that. It's actually really cool. It consistently gives me a set pressure so that I don't have to worry about going anywhere or falling through. This could use a lot of tweaking. I kind of just made this on the fly to give a brief example of what I was talking about, but I mean, look, I can just stand here and nothing happens. Here, let's go into a spectator mode, and you can see, even though this thing is rotating, I am still standing perfectly still. This will create some really cool ideas like new stations, people having rotating effects just like this, it'll make a big difference for everyone. You know, what probably would have been better is if I had made this rounded, so it went over rounded, and I can just look down through it, rather than it still being flat. But, you know, we all make design flaws, and we all learn from our mistakes. But for this one, this update, they've also added a few other things. It's primarily a mod one, where you can actually take files and you can actually update them into the system itself, which means you can change this, change the actual shape of cargo ships or anything else, and you can transfer over the files to new save games so that you can see your work actually put into the game and running while you're playing. So people who want to do custom cargo ships or anything like that, you can take like this ship right here, you copy paste it, and then you can actually upload it into the files itself, which is a really cool idea. Really cool for modders in particular, because modding has become such a heavy thing now since they've included modding support. It has made this, made that kind of particular thing much more interesting and modding much more spectacular. Oh, there is one thing that I discovered today, bug-wise, that everyone should know about. So, normally, if you haven't noticed, I have my skin, my original skin from when I first made videos and everything like that, because modding was out. But I changed it because right now, custom skins, as you can see, I had an issue there. I couldn't even use the skin. It puts me in the T-stand, as they call it. And the other thing is your jetpack does not work. I am spamming the key right now. Your jetpack does not work with custom skins, so be aware of that, just for the time being. It's a new little bug they have out there. It's mildly annoying, but, I mean, all you have to do is go back to your regular skin, go to your default, you know, change up the color however you want, and you're perfectly fine, and then everything works again. Hunky-dory. The last thing I really wanted to talk about was something that's interesting, just because I did, you know, start a new survival series with Mr. Hewitt on the Send More Robots channel. And it's that multiplayer pistons, rotors, and landing gears are now more stable. So instead of causing deformation or exploding or causing the ship to freak out altogether, it now is more stable, so that, you know, in our survival, if we wanted to make a hydroponics chamber just like this, we totally could. And it could rotate, and we could both use it and it'd be perfectly fine. But thank you all for joining me on this one. It wasn't a big one, but the small things do count in this game, and the fact that we now have a spherical generator like this one makes all the difference in the world to me, because I wouldn't have been able to make something like that and make it more effective, or at least even think of design ideas on how to make it more effective without them coming up with something like this. I remember I had seen something, a spherical generator, on the mod shop, and the fact that the devs actually looked through the mod shop and found this object and decided to make it into the game for real was pretty awesome. So, they are listening to everyone, they are taking into account everyone's ideas and what's going to work and what's actually useful to the game, and hopefully they'll continue to grow it in such a way that we will get new items like this that have been inspired by the modding community, and will continue to put out quality work such as that. But, thank you all again. I am Red King from Send More Robots. And always remember who you are and what you are. Don't go cause any trouble in that world. And always remember, be good to one another. Goodbye, guys.